Well, I can't say I'm happy about that. There were two men driving that car who seemed a little bit... They were trying to be intimidating. And they told me that the money I found in my field over there, the $500,000, belonged to a client of theirs. I guess I may as well unstrap these and get them ready to put away. They said it belonged to a client of theirs who wanted it back. And when I said they were welcome to talk to my attorney, because my attorney and I talked about whether I had a responsibility to anybody, they said their client didn't want to go through legal hassle. Their client was a private citizen who wanted to keep their business private and was unwilling to go through my lawyer. And they said that they would want to resolve this personally, and there was a strongly implied, if I don't go along with it, there's an or else involved. Obviously that's dumb. I'm not going to just hand over $500,000 to someone who says it's theirs. Why are they out here on my farm trying to hassle me? Were they even working for somebody, or were they just trying to do some sort of, like, grift? I mean, I've had enough people threatening me. There was that whole I was never supposed to succeed. There's Dan burning down that greenhouse, and who knows what else he would have taken out. Oh, honey, that reminds me, I spoke to Jenny, and she said it's not quite the best time to sell yet. That should be done at the beginning of next month. So in another week or two, I will load that stuff up and get it ready to take over to Jenny. My telehandler is over at the dairy, so I guess I'm gonna have to drive that back here very slowly. And my side-by-side is also over there in the cow yard. So I guess I have some walking and thinking to do. I'll bring you back in after I unload the truck and show you what else I have going on out there by Old Town. Now I'm like looking at every car driving by, wondering, that's Frontier Security. That doesn't make me any better. I should really put a gate or something here so people stop wandering onto my farm and causing trouble. I'm gonna get on that. Anyway, I'll see you a little bit later. Right, well, I finally made it back to my cow yard, where my side-by-side is. I've been walking all over this farm today. Let's hop in here, and I will tell you what else is going on while we drive. I got the stuff unloaded from my truck. It's in my little shed, so I still need to run out to the dealer and pick up my cedar, but then I will be all set for next month. And I did bring the telehandler back over here after I unloaded the stuff, although now I'm realizing that was a silly idea, because I'm going to need it again next month to load up the cedar. But I just don't like Nelson not having anything to work with the dairy pallets over here. I really want him to have something to move stuff around. So I keep bringing this over here. I should really just buy something that I can leave here full time. Yeah, well, making good progress. I'm gonna have to, ooh, actually, I'm gonna take one of those with me. Now I'm gonna show you what I've been working on. Let me see here. Okay, so I was starting to say, that's better, I don't know anything about being shaken down, so I don't know who I need to be worrying about, what sort of organizations, if any, would be responsible for this. Did I get the little gate? I just... everything wrong today. There we go, okay. So I don't know who to worry about, and what to do exactly. I jotted down some notes about what they said and what their descriptions were, what they look like, and I'll try to find some sympathetic ear at Frontier Security or somebody. Maybe I'll talk to Nelson and see if he can remember the names of anyone Leo used to talk about. Leo and I didn't really talk about work very often because, as you might imagine, it was a source of tension for us since he couldn't really tell me about stuff. So I don't really know who his friends were over there and who he was most likely to be on good terms with and who I ought to try to trust now. That would have been good information to have. Anyway, I'll see if I can find someone to help me out with this, and I'll let my lawyer know too, just to make sure I've covered my legal bases. But I've been very busy out here, and I'm excited to show you, it's kind of ridiculous. Let me just make sure the train's not coming. I really need to get, like, I don't know if I can build some sort of crossing. Yeah, we're good. This situation is not good, especially now that I don't have... so bumpy. Now that I can't access the transponder to get out Gate 3 anymore, which I did, by the way, clear the sand out of Gate 3. So now I could drive in and out of there if I had the transponder. But they took that away. And I also cleared the sand off my property and I sold it, and the money went up a little bit. But you wouldn't know that because the money also went down, and I'll show you why momentarily. Yeah, see? I made a nice clear path there, but no transponder. I really would like to make a road up here, and you'll see why in a minute. It's very hilly. It's challenging to navigate. It's still creepy AF to look at. I've got a new business venture going up here, and this is all part of Operation Get Frontier Security to tell me some dang thing about the investigation into Leo's disappearance and whatever's going on with Old Town and aliens and anything I can get them to tell me about. Part of that is just make it more visible. Make everything more visible. Stop letting it be something secret. Let it be something we openly talk about. So, I cut down all the trees on my plot over here, and I got a stump grinder out here, and I took care of all the stumps, so now it's relatively easy to drive around. I'm not going to get hung up on anything. I put all the trees there. I don't really know what to do with them. I rented a winch and just moved them, but I don't have a long-term plan for them yet. And then up here we have my new business. This is precarious to reach because of all the hillsides, hilly land up here. May I introduce you to Flying Saucer Pizzeria. This is my new restaurant. I'll go unload this cheese in a little bit. So yeah, I opened a pizzeria. We've got this nice sort of observation deck, and then a secondary one that's a little bit lower, where you have this great view of Old Town. We're doing 2 services a day. We have a lunch service for people who want to come out here and just sort of see Old Town in action. Not action. See it in the daylight when it's less scary, I guess. And hear about the UFO, but maybe not take any risks themselves. And then we have a late night service that starts at midnight and goes through 2 a.m. so people can see the UFO for themselves. You can sit here in my little observation deck and check it out. And I bought this bus. This bus is now ferrying passengers from the city center, from District 8 and inward, out to here. Because a lot of people in the city center don't have transportation, they don't have cars, they rely on public transit everywhere. Public transit does not come out here. Public transit, you're lucky to even get to the Farm Belt. There's like one line that runs to the park at the edge of District 8, and that's it. And it's a bus line. It doesn't run very often. Everybody hates taking it. We know that. So I have a shuttle, and I have someone driving it. Oh, I must have turned that blinker on accidentally when I was trying to get the cheese in there. So yeah. I have someone who drives this bus for me, and check it out. FSP wagon. Flying Saucer Pizzeria wagon. This is our shuttle bus. So I need an excuse to be out here so that I can go over there. It's not suspicious. I could be in the building. Frontier Security has no idea where I am at any given time. They've started doing random checks to see. It's like they watched my video and they know I'm doing something they don't want me doing. And I guess that's why my transponder doesn't work anymore. So yeah, it's kind of an open no-no that I'm doing this stuff. But I just want eyes on this. I want to demystify this whole aliens existing thing, and UFOs are real, and tell us about that skeleton I found that you erected a building to study, and then it just went away. Tell us about my missing boyfriend who coincidentally works for you. My missing dog. Those sounds. The alerts. Yeah, you. You in the helicopter. I hope you're listening right now. Tell us. Give us an explanation. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm just going to involve more and more people in all this until you tell us what's happening. Or else I'm going to have to find answers another way. So yeah, I'm still making trips out there. And obviously, I don't have time to run a pizzeria and run a shuttle service and do all my farming. And I don't even have time to do all that farming now that I have the extra fields. So I've started enlisting help. This particular venture, I've got keeping it in the family. Jenny has 4 brothers. Her youngest brother is Justin, and he has felt a little bit, what's the word? A little bit stymied, constrained. I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but ever since Jenny started working for me at my farmer's market and started to be able to have her own ideas about how she wanted to run things, and she started the prepared food bar, and that's been super successful, and people have really been enjoying it. And she started these promotions. She's been doing various decoration things, like Ginny has been taking that whole market and running with it. I've had very little to do with it. Justin, as the youngest of all of the siblings, has felt like he hasn't had a voice in what his family does and was tired of it. So when I was talking to Ginny and Rachel about what I wanted to do out here, Ginny sort of suggested we should talk to Justin, and I did. And obviously it's super risky. Like, there is something here, and it's every night like clockwork. We've been checking. We've had people out here now for a friends and family soft opening. And I feel bad knowing it's risky, but Justin's totally okay with it. Like, he's been aware of my videos. We had a long talk about it. He knows that Leo's missing. He swears he's willing to take whatever risk there is just to be his own man and have his own voice in how he runs his operation. So he's running this for me. He's hired on a couple people. We did install a shelter underneath just in case there's an alert. I still haven't been getting alerts, and there was an alert called some point in the last few weeks, and I never got the notification about it. So I don't know if I don't want to think Leo lied to me. I think he must have been misinformed about the alerts working out here. But even so, we've got a shelter. If we find out there's an alert, my staff and anybody who happens to be dining here at the time can go into the shelter. If anything really wonky happens with the UFO, Justin and the staff can go into the shelter. So I think it's about as good as it can be, given the circumstances. So yeah, I'm not making any money off of this. I'm letting Justin keep everything and reinvest it in the business and take a salary. Eventually, it may be producing enough that I get some percentage as the owner of the property. But honestly, I'm happy to have Justin buy me out in the future. I'm not invested in this. I don't really care about it. I want to know what's going on over there. I want to know what's going on with Leo and with Phoenix. And I'll keep doing whatever I can think of to drag things out into the open until someone gives me an answer. So yeah, let me get this cheese unloaded here, and then I'll drive into town to the farmer's market with Jenny and show you the other thing I've been working on. There's just a lot going on right now. I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm over here at the farmer's market. I was just inside chatting with Jenny. Everything's going well over here today. And this is the other thing. I own this now. This is a little passenger van for my staff. My farmhands, specifically. Here's the deal. I now have a lot more land, and honestly, more than I can do. Like, I've got Nelson helping me with the cows. I've got Javon helping me with the mill. It's his mill, he runs it, but he's doing a lot of work on the logistics side of things that he doesn't have to be doing. And Jenny is running this market for me, and her brother is now running the pizzeria for me. And I just can't handle, like, all the farm work on my own. So I have started trying to hire some farmhands, some people who can actually work for me full time. Now, as you know, I built that house out there near the dairy for Nelson, and I thought about building more houses out there, but I've been really torn about the morality of everything. Like, is it moral for me to put other people's lives in danger out in the frontier? Can I live with myself knowing I am enabling people to move out there when I can't deny there's danger? Leo went missing. Phoenix went missing. I've heard sounds. I've seen things. I know there's danger. But people seem willing to take the risk. So this is sort of my middle ground. I'm trying to find people who live inside the walls, who will drive out in this little combi bus every day to work on the farm and then come back before dark. And I was talking to Jenny about it and Rachel, and one person I had come out there as a contractor. I'm not going to tell you their name yet because I'm hoping I can talk them into taking the job. And we were thinking maybe I could put up some sort of like apartment building here on the other half of this area. I was kind of thinking in the future I might put some other production here. But honestly, Jenny lives above the farmer's market because she was on a wait list for years to get an apartment in the city and never got one. The housing is just so tight. The population controls are so tight. There are a lot of people who are living with their parents or siblings or other people who they don't want to be living with necessarily, who would give a lot for some privacy. So if I put up like an apartment building to house my workers and have this little bus, my foreman could drive the workers out to the farm every day. I could have like a little depot with a break room where they could hang out in between doing tasks. I think this is kind of the best of all worlds right now. Maybe someday I would actually build houses out there, but I'm not ready to do that yet. It feels like too far. But this seems like a middle ground. So I'm starting to look into the permitting process. Putting up the farmer's market in a commercial area wasn't really a problem. Putting up a multi-housing residential building in this commercial area is more of a permitting challenge. I know some people. I have my sponsor at the Board of Agriculture, Kate, and she's sort of helping me figure out who I might enlist on my side, because agriculturally we do need more farm work happening out there in the frontier. That's the whole point of me being out there. So I was hoping Kate could help me find somebody who might be willing to put us in touch with the right people in city council and the planning committees so I can get the permitting through. And I don't know who else. We're looking into who else I might be able to try to talk to. So this is not going to be a fast thing. This is going to take a while. But yeah, I'm long-term hoping to do that. And in the meantime, I've just had like one contractor who I drove the combi bus in here and picked him up here at the farmer's market and drove him out to do some of the slurry spreading on my field out there while I was doing plowing on that new field. So again, it's like hard to find contractors here in town. A lot of the farmers here in town even, Ravenwood is always hiring for contractors for like one-off jobs. And I worked for Walter a couple times too, just to do some like harvesting and some other field work for him. So I'm sort of competing with the farmers here in town to find contractors. So I really want to find like full-time staff I can hire who are dedicated to working on my farm. And hopefully this is going to give us a way to do it. So yeah, that's a lot. I have a lot going on. I have a lot to think about with those unsolicited visitors who showed up in that blue Conti. I feeling not great about that, actually. And my soft launch out there at the restaurant went really well. So we are planning to do a full launch before the end of the month. So when I see you in March, our restaurant will be operating. Lots going on. I guess I'll see you next month and we'll do some more farming. Bye-bye.